In the 5th century BC, the ancient world functioned as a series of isolated, disconnected pockets. For most people, traveling beyond their home city meant entering a void of uncharted territory, where foreign laws and customs were a complete mystery. Herodotus was a citizen of Halicarnassus, who spent 8 years navigating these unknown regions. He moved through the Persian Empire, Egypt, and Babylon, gathering information at a time when cross-cultural travel was both rare and physically dangerous. He compiled these observations into the Histories, the first systematic attempt to record human events and cultural differences in a single narrative. It serves as a detailed record of the strange, specific behaviors that defined early civilizations. While archaeology provides us with physical ruins, Herodotus's writing preserved the specific oral traditions and eyewitness accounts that would otherwise be inaccessible. His work documented chapters of the human story that were on the verge of being forgotten. In Egypt, Herodotus encountered architectural feats that seemed to defy the limits of the time. The Great Pyramid of Giza stands nearly 500 feet tall, a massive mountain of stone that dominated the North African landscape. Construction of this scale required an immense human sacrifice. 100,000 laborers worked in grueling 3-month shifts for 20 years to complete the tomb, sustained by a basic diet of radishes, onions, and garlic. This obsession with monumental tombs was a direct reflection of the Egyptian fixation on the afterlife. They believed physical preservation was necessary for the soul, leading to a meticulous 70-day mummification process. The physical mechanics of this process were precise and gruesome. Embalmers would use a hooked iron instrument to liquefy and extract the brain through the nasal cavity, before cleaning the body and packing it with spices and natron to dry the flesh. While the regime was comfortable with the mass exploitation of human labor, they maintained a sacred reverence for animals. If a house caught fire, the residents were expected to save their cats before securing their own belongings. Egyptian society functioned through this contrast. They built monuments through the exhaustion of thousands of laborers, yet maintained a lifestyle governed by an unbreakable devotion to their pets and the rituals of the next world. East of Egypt, Cyrus the Great established the Achaemenid Empire. By governing territory from Turkey to Afghanistan, he created the world's first global superpower. To manage this vast territory, the Persians developed a sophisticated administrative system. However, their legislative process included a strange, mandatory requirement for intoxication. When debating major state policies, officials were required to discuss the matter twice, once while completely drunk, and again the following day while completely sober. A law only moved forward if they agreed on the conclusion in both states of mind. This rigid structure extended into the social fabric of the empire. Every daily interaction was dictated by a person's specific rank in a hierarchy that governed even the simplest greetings. Men of equal status would kiss on the lips. If one was slightly inferior, they kissed on the cheek. But if the difference in rank was significant, the inferior man was required to bow and prostrate himself entirely in the dirt. The Persians valued honesty above all else. They considered telling a lie to be the most shameful act a person could commit, followed by falling into debt, which they believed inevitably forced a person to lie to their creditors. The Persian Empire maintained its global dominance by enforcing these rigid psychological and social codes, ensuring every subject understood their exact place in the order. The city of Babylon was the ultimate obstacle for the Persian army. It was a fortress protected by 60 miles of perimeter walls and massive gates made of solid brass. Traditional siege tactics were useless against these defenses. For over a year, the Persians were stuck in a stalemate, unable to breach the walls or starve the city into submission. Cyrus solved the problem through environmental engineering. By digging a canal upstream, he diverted the Euphrates River into a marsh, lowering the water level until the riverbed was shallow enough for his troops to march directly under the city walls. The fall of Babylon demonstrated that massive physical fortifications could be rendered useless by a strategic shift in perspective. Cyrus overcame the impossible defenses by weaponizing the landscape itself. At the outermost edges of the known world lived the Scythians, a group of fierce nomadic tribes who ruled the Eurasian grasslands through a culture of extreme martial violence. Their warfare was defined by brutal rites of passage. To be recognized as a warrior, a Scythian was required to drink the blood of the very first enemy he killed in battle. They also practiced a macabre form of trophies. Warriors would decapitate their enemies, saw off the tops of the skulls, and line them with leather to use as drinking cups for their guests. Yet these nomadic tribes also possessed advanced metallurgical skills. They created intricate golden ornaments with interlocking animal figures that showcased a high level of artistic sophistication. Our understanding of these skull cups, the diversion of the Euphrates, and the Egyptian embalming hooks comes down to the work of a single man. By inventing the concept of systematic historical recording, Herodotus ensured that the complexity and brutality of these ancient empires did not fade into myth. His work transformed oral traditions into a permanent record of human civilization. Between the Egyptian brain hook and the Persian drunk debating, which ancient custom surprised you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more deep dives into history.